Hey everyone, Namaste and welcome to the 27th episode of Yoga Shakti here on this wonderful platform of Anand TV with me, Shailaja Menon. Now, as I shoot this episode, the COVID pandemic continues to rage on in several parts of the world, wreaking havoc and taking lives. And our hearts especially go off to our brothers and sisters who are struggling desperately at this point in India. But we know that the best thing that we can do for ourselves as well as for others is to be in the best place possible mentally, physically, and emotionally. And that includes taking care of ourselves in the highest way possible, which happens through our yoga practice. Because only when we are in a good place can we offer assistance and be of any use or any support to anyone else. So, towards that, let us take our yoga practice and continue to be of help both to ourselves as well as others. Namaste. So let's get started with the practice. You're going to need a strap. So, like I always say, if you don't have a strap, you can always use a towel or you can use anything that works in this manner. And we're going to work into forward bends. And as we do that, we connect to the principle of Ishvara Pranidhana, which is such a beautiful principle that Patanjali talks about in the Yoga Sutras, in the niyamas that he lays out in the Ashtanga Yoga. So, to begin with, just lie on your back, keep your knees bent, and just hug the right knee towards your abdomen. So, just holding here for a few seconds, feeling that deep flexion at the knee, feeling that deep flexion at the hip, and just staying with it as you inhale and exhale. Really allowing your mind to be absorbed in the body, to flow with the breath. And from here, we're going to work into Supta Padangusthasana, for which you're going to need your strap or your towel. And you've already got a very good position here, yeah, with like a deep flexion here. So just take the strap, put it around the feet, right? So try to make sure the strap is around the what they call this area, the balls of the feet. Yeah, and from there, just slowly try to straighten your leg as much as you can, feeling that deep release along the back of your leg, along the back of your hamstrings, the knees, the calves, just feeling all those areas along the back of your leg. Feeling that deep release from the glutes as well as you inhale and exhale, just holding the position. Okay, and then whenever you feel ready, just slowly releasing the left leg down. Yeah, so thrust forward with that left heel going forward, trying to get that left thigh to ground as much as you can, all the while the right front thigh moving back, feeling that deep release along the back of your right leg. Okay, and then release the leg. So just working in the opposite way. So the first position we did was that hip and knee flexion. So bringing that thigh just close to your abdomen and chest. Just holding it here for a few seconds. Inhale and exhale, really allowing your mind to explore the body, just connecting with all these different areas. Okay, and then when you feel ready, just take the strap, okay, take it around the feet, right? And then slowly work on straightening the leg. So just straightening it as much as you can. Keep that front thigh moving back, feeling that beautiful deep release along the glutes, the hamstrings, the back of the knees, the calves, feeling this whole area open, allowing your mind to be absorbed in that release. Okay, and then release that right leg forward so that heel really moving forward, leading the way. Okay, and then slowly release the leg and just relax for a few seconds, just keeping your awareness along the back of your legs. Okay, so just sit with your feet extended out in front of you. We're going into some seated forward bends, starting with one of the most traditional poses, Janu Shirsasana. Yeah, so for that, you have to bend the right knee and then bring the sole of your right foot into your left inner thigh. Yeah, and then from here, you have to know that whichever leg goes forward, that hip automatically is slightly forward. Yeah, so in order to square your hips, you have to draw back a little bit through the left hip. Yeah, so in fact, all of these forward bends which have one leg forward, whether it is standing or seated, there's a little bit of a twist involved. Yeah, so again, you can use many props to help you. One thing you can use is your strap, so you can keep it around the, like I said, the balls of the feet, and then come forward. So this is again if you are extremely flexible. So I'll show you how to use this later. But to get into the position, as you inhale, just lengthen through your spine, and as you exhale, just slightly twist as you fold over that extended leg. Yeah, so finding your best position here. As you inhale, arch your spine and look up. As you exhale, fold deep. Yeah, so really using your breath to go deeper into the position. The breath is really the best tool that you have to work with your body and your mind. In fact, the breath is considered the bridge between the body and the mind. So, learning to consciously use your breath. So, again, as you inhale, just lengthen through your spine, and as you exhale, folding deep. Yeah, so like I said, if you have difficulty coming forward, like in the beginning when we start, a lot of us will be here. Yeah, and then you'll feel like your hands don't come forward, even, which is when you use the strap. Then, if since I'm talking to a very diverse audience, if you are extremely flexible, then you can use the block to help you go deeper. Yeah, so the way to use the block is to keep the block in front of your foot, right? So again, depending on the extent of your flexibility, either you can keep the block straight here in this position, or you can even keep it horizontal. Yeah, so from here you can again work, inhale, lengthen through your spine, exhale and fold, and really release. Yeah, release that whole spine, release your shoulders, release your neck, the back of your head, truly surrendering into the state of the pose. right? So knowing that asana is not just a shape that we create with the body, and that shape actually leads us towards a state, a balanced state, a steady state, a surrendered state, an open hearted state, a strong state. Okay, and then inhale and rising up, and as you exhale, slowly release. Yeah, so working with the opposite side. So extend both the legs again and working similarly, bend the left knee. The sole of the left foot goes into your right inner thigh. And then, like I said, this hip will be slightly coming forward. So I'm going to draw back through my right hip so that if you see my position, I'm already kind of positioned over the extended leg. Yeah, so as you inhale, lengthen through the spine. And as you exhale, just folding deep. Yeah, and like I said, use your breath. Inhale, arch your spine and look up. Exhale and coming down. Inhale, arch your spine and looking up. Exhale and coming forward. Right? Truly enjoying the practice, finding the joy in every moment of the practice, in the release of the hamstrings, in the release of the spine, in the release of your shoulders and neck. Okay, slowly inhale and rising up, and as you exhale, release. Right? So from here, we're going into another position, which is Ardha Baddha Padma Paschimottanasana. Yeah, which is a half lotus pose. So I'm just going to turn here so you can see what a half lotus looks like. Right? Just keep both your legs extended forward. And then this time when you bend the right knee in Janu Shasasana, the sole of the foot comes into your inner thigh. But when you're going into the half lotus position, the Ardha Padmasana, you're gently going to cradle that foot in your hand, and that heel comes in as high as possible into your hip crease. Yeah, and then once it is here comfortably, gently working that knee down as much as it can go. Right? So, this is a beautiful position here where you're doing the forward bend in the half lotus position. Right? Again, you have several options here. You can just inhale, rise up, and come forward. Right? Just holding the position here. Or the other option that you have is to go into a half lotus bind. Yeah, so if your right knee is bent like mine is at this point, then you have to take your right hand behind to bind. Right? So if you look at the shoulders, there's a internal rotation of the shoulder that is involved in order to take the hand behind you so that you can grab hold of your toe. Yeah, your big toe. And then inhale, lengthen through your spine as you exhale, coming forward. So just holding it here, trying to square your hips all the while. So though your right shoulder will be elevated in order to hold the toe, once you hold the toe, you're still trying to find that balance. You're still trying to square, trying to find that equanimity and that groundedness in the state of the pose. And inhale and rising up. And as you exhale, release. Yeah, so working similarly along the other side. So extend both legs forward, and this time your left knee will bend and you will cradle that left foot to bring it all the way in into your right hip crease. Yeah, so just drawing it all the way in and then work that knee down. Yeah, so trying to get that knee to go towards the floor as much as you can, right? And then when the left knee is bent, you have to work with your left arm. Yeah, so just doing an internal rotation of your left arm and then taking it around. Now, if you have difficulty grabbing hold of the toe, what you can do is use the strap. Yeah, so there's a little loop on my strap. Now, if you're just using a towel, that's also fine, right? You can just put the towel or the strap around the foot, right? And this also enables you to have a feel of the bind. Yeah, so you take your hand behind and then you just hold the strap wherever you can, right? So even if you can't hold the toe, you can still get a feel of the position, right? Inhale and lengthen through your spine, and as you exhale, folding forward. Okay, focus on your breath. Just sense the body, sense the state of your mind, and slowly inhale and raising up. And as you exhale, just release the hand and release the strap. Now we're going to move into another seated forward bend called Marichi A. Yeah, to prepare for that, just bend the right knee, sole of the foot pressing into the mat. And then as you inhale, lengthen through your spine. And as you exhale, just coming forward. And again, just releasing the hand as far as it'll go. Yeah, so again, the beauty of yoga practice is that there are no endpoints, right? It's not that you are doing an asana practice only if you can hold your toe or you can hold your foot. It's not at all like that, right? It is about cultivating a deepening relationship with your body, which begins with an acceptance of your body where it is at this point in time and a sense of santosha or contentment with the body. Yeah, so we're always saying bad things to the body, then it's not going to be very happy and it's not going to really support our journey very much. Yeah, so really working with the body in a positive manner. Our self talk is so important, and that is where the yamas and yamas also come in to help us to get a positive self talk. Yeah, with these practices of santosha and Ishvara Pranidhana all coming in. Okay, and then if you're comfortable here, right, then internally rotate the shoulder. Yeah, so this is the palm up. So when you internally rotate the shoulder, the palm goes down. Yeah, and then that allows you to take the hand around the knee, right, and then the left hand also goes back, right. You try to grab hold of your fingers or your wrist, wherever is comfortable, and fold deep. Yeah, so as you continue to stay here, keep the energy of the position moving forward. Yeah, so sometimes we may be a bit like that. So try as much as possible to shift weight onto that right foot. Yeah, so I'm literally trying to stand on my right foot. Yeah, that is the energy coming forward, and that helps me to get a deeper pelvic fold and a deeper release from the spine and the back of the leg. Okay, and then slowly inhale and rising up. Exhale and release, and changing legs here. Okay, so again, you can use the strap whenever you want. I'm just turning side so it's easier for you to see as well the use of the strap. Yeah, so from here we start with bending the left foot. So the left foot is into the floor, and then as you inhale, lengthen through your spine and fold deep, right? So this is like a preparatory position for Marichi A. So earlier, remember, we were just doing many seated forward bends. We did Janushasana, right? So in Janushasana, the sole of the left foot came into your right inner thigh. Here, the sole of your foot goes into the mat. That is the difference. Yeah, and then the other aspects remain the same about focus, about concentration, about exploring your body, about using asana as a tool to connect deeper with your body and ultimately your own self. So, one of my most favorite quotes that's actually written on my studio walls by Guruji B.K. Iyengar is that your body is a temple and asana is your prayer. So that is one of the most beautiful and profound quotes that I deeply resonates with me. So truly having a sense of reverence as you do the practice. Okay, so if you need to use the strap, you can use the strap in this way, just holding the strap in your hand as you take it back. And then as the other hand goes back, so maybe you can't hold your fingers, so just using the towel or using that strap, right? So you get a sense of the pose. So even if you can't hold, you still have a sense of the pose. Okay, slowly inhale and rising up and releasing the strap and coming up. Now we're moving into a seated Kapotasana position for which you have to bend the right knee and place that right foot just above the left knee. Right? So if you look at it, it will be something like this. Can you see clearly here? Right? The foot is placed just above the knee. So maybe I sit this way, it's clearer for you. And as always, you're just trying to get that right knee to go down as much as you can. So all of that depends on your hip rotation as well. So remembering the first yamas and yamas of Ashtanga Yoga, which is ahimsa, right? So we practice that first on our own bodies by not having any violence or showing any violence in the way that we move our bodies and the way that we stretch, right? Practicing that beautiful principle of ahimsa, being mindful of that as we go through our practice. And now just bend the left knee and try to keep that right knee going down. Yeah, so just staying here. So all of this works on your hips. Just keep the spine long, keep the knee moving outward, right? And work as best as you can, right? So you're trying to close the gap between your chest and the lower leg. So just staying here as you inhale and exhale. Okay, finally coming into your best position, still keeping that heart space open, closing the gap. Okay, so you're trying to be as close as possible. Yeah, so this is what I mean by closing the gap. Right, just staying here for a bit. Yeah, so we're doing this position like a preparatory position for Marichi B. So Marichi B involves like again a deep lotus position, the half lotus position. So try to bring that right knee down. Yeah, and then see if you can get that left leg up. Yeah, so this is the little bit of a challenge here. So a lot of people in my class, right, my students, in the initial stages at least, they may be able to get into half lotus. But to get this left leg up is a bit of a challenge, yeah, especially to get the leg up and then to try to get the knee down, right? That can be quite a challenge. So just working to your best ability, which is why I'm really breaking it up into several positions that you can try out. Yeah, so the first one you can try out is this seated Kapotasana position. Yeah, so this is an easier variation. And then if you're comfortable here, you take the heel in into half lotus, right? Bring that left knee up, but try to keep that right knee going down. Yeah, so this is your starting position for Marichi A. But like I said, I've given you several alternatives before this, so feel free to just stay with whatever works for you at this point. Be very sensitive to your knee as well as your hip, right? All of this require a certain degree of hip opening and mobility in your joints. So it may not be there right away, so be patient with your body. I'm just giving you several options. Now you bring your hands in and just release forward as much as you can, right? So still working into a forward bend, just releasing your shoulders, releasing your spine, and then from here, working back with that internal rotation. Yeah, so your left shoulder internally rotates so that it can go around that left knee, and then you take your right hand back. See if you can hold and then fold deep. Yeah, so again here I'm just offering you several alternatives. If your hands will not hold, this is where your strap becomes very handy. So as I go down, right, so in case I can't bind yet when I'm just first starting off, then what I will do is to hold the strap in this manner. Yeah, so that allows me to have the feel of the bind. Okay, and slowly rising up. And one other area that you should be really sensitive is this front of your right foot. So a lot of my students complain of pain here. Yeah, so be very sensitive to your body, right? Working in the opposite way. So working with your left leg. So just bring the left foot across the right thigh closer to your knee, yeah, just above the right knee, and working into the Kapotasana position where you just lift the knee up. Okay, that works your hip, works on opening the hip, and then use your breath. So initially maybe we're kind of far apart. As you can see, there's a lot of space between my thigh and my chest. And just know that all of this takes time, right? Just because I'm doing it now, it doesn't mean that your body will respond in a similar manner. But this is the direction of your practice. Yeah, so again, you can just close the gap, bring the foot in, lift through the spine, find your best position, just hold it here. Just really keeping your awareness on that left hip, sensing that opening at the left hip. Okay, and release the leg down and bring the heel in. Yeah, so bring the heel in as high as you can into the half lotus. Shift weight onto that left butt as you bend the right knee, right? So this is your position. Try to keep that left knee coming down. So in the beginning, remember, it's going to be high, but slowly as the left hip opens, which is why we did that Kapotasana position earlier. Now come forward, releasing your shoulders and your elbows down. Okay, and then eventually working into the bind where you will take the arm around the knee, and then your left hand will go back. Then you will just fold. Okay, slowly inhale and rising up. And as you exhale, release the leg. Yeah, so I hope you have enjoyed working with your body in these beautiful forward bends. And please continue working on it regularly. So, when I started my practice as well, I was not so flexible, but it is only the magic of consistent practice that has helped me to achieve whatever degree of flexibility that I have today. So, that is why I always say, right, the consistency of practice is really the magic. So please continue to keep in touch with us, both with Anand TV and me. We have our YouTube channels. Please subscribe to our YouTube channels, like our videos if you like the content that is. And I hope you keep, connecting with me through the uh, television episodes as well as through social media. I also have an Instagram channel where you can connect with me as well, Shailaja Menon Yoga. My YouTube channel is Shailaja Menon Yoga as well. So do stay connected, and I will see you next week. And in the meantime, we just offer a prayer to all of those struggling very deeply with the corona pandemic right now. So just bring your hands into a namaste. Lokha samasta Sukhino bhavantu. May the entire universe be filled with peace and joy, love and light. Namaste.